we haven't talked about this team yet, but they've been on a win streak. That is the Atlanta Hawks. Before they lost 2 games in a row, they were on an 8-game win streak. They lost 2 in a row, one to the Clippers, I believe, and the other one I forgot who they lost to. It was
Clippers.
just the other night. They lost to the Clippers.
The other night.
Nah, I think they're 9-1.
They're on a 2-game skid. Yeah,
you keep talking.
So right now they're 22-22. They are the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference, and when the Hawks first fired Lloyd Pierce, everybody went Kings. Yeah. Okay. When the Hawks first fired Lloyd Pierce, everybody went crazy. Everybody didn't think Lloyd Pierce was ever to get fired. They thought, Rick Carlisle came out and said that he should have remained the head coach because he was a Democrat. He literally said that.
Yeah.
Greg Popovich, didn't think it was a good move either. They got a lot of he literally said that. So they got a lot of backlash, but Nick McMillan has done a good job. I mean, the Atlanta Hawks, they are winning. So my question to you is that what do you think has been the reason for their recent success, for how they are playing now versus how they were playing with Lloyd Pierce?
I think it's just mentality. I think the type of encouragement Nick McMillan offers. I think with Lloyd Pierce, you saw a lot of him blaming this guy and bashing this guy. I think with Nate McMillan, he brought in a different energy to the locker room, and he brought in that type of encouragement energy. Like he's coming in, boosting you up, making you ready to work, and I think that's what's been key for them. I also noticed a lot in their game, like Trae Young isn't always taking all the shots. He's actually hasn't been taking a lot of shots and bad shots. He's been doing more playmaking. John Collins has actually been getting the ball a lot more. He's been up in his game. So I think that's what Nate McMillan kind of unlocked this offense in a sense of where it's giving everybody the ball. And his team is still not healthy. So that's what's the beauty. Like this Hawks team is a very weird team because they haven't been healthy many times. And I think getting Nate McMillan, they get healthy. I think this is a good team that can be really good down the stretch. But you definitely see the mentality is different. The team is different. They're playing. I'm not saying they're a great defense, but they're playing like they come to play hard every night. With Lloyd Pierce, you saw they was kind of lackadaisical. They didn't want to play sometimes. So I think Nate McMillan brought a different type of energy, kind of like that Coach Carter energy. When he came in, Timo Cruz and them, he kind of came in and brought that different energy. So that's what he brought. And I like this because I'm a Cam Reddish fan, so I hope Atlanta succeeds for life. They're trying to trade him. I'm glad they did it. So it was lit. So, yeah, Atlanta, Nate McMillan.
I agree. I think mentality played a big role. But to me, at least what I've noticed is I just think they have an identity now. I think everybody on the team knows their role. I love their front court with John Collins and Clint Capella. I think that's nasty. They've been defending in the games that I've been watching too. They're not a great defensive team, but they have been making the effort on defense. Trae Young has kind of taken the work off of himself. I felt like before he had to, do too much to kind of create a bucket or create for his team. So now he's kind of slowing down, letting other people facilitate and trusting his teammates a lot more. And they're a young team. Like I love the Hawks. Like when the Clint Capella trade first went through, I love that pickup. So I think they have a lot of potential. Maybe they could make a run for the playoffs this year, but I think we'll hear about the Hawks for the years to come. But for me, the difference I've noticed, like I said, is I just feel like they have an identity. Everybody kind of fits into the offense. They're role players. Everybody's accepting their role. And to me, the big effort was just defensively as well.
And I think you guys both said it right. When I looked up like the stats versus Pierce with Nick versus Nate McMillan, I thought I was gonna come into something that was staggering. Like wow, like there is such a difference.
Yeah,
but it really wasn't. Like when you look at points per game, they were better with Lloyd Pierce. Yeah. They had more assists per game with Lloyd Pierce, but they also had more turnovers. With Nate McMillan, what they're better at is rebounding. They have a better percentage from the field and three. Granted, it's a way lower sample size, so that percentage is probably going to be higher, but I thought it was going to be their points per game were way higher with McMillan. Their assists per game, they were moving the ball around more, but they're still moving the ball around more. It just doesn't show on the stats, and for me, I think you said it, mentality, having them ready to play, because the Hawks, even with Lloyd Pierce early in the season, they were winning. It's not like they were losing, but when they got injured, that confidence kind of went away. Yeah. And a guy who's been big for them has been this guy, Nathan Knight. I mean, nobody outside of that doesn't watch Atlanta knows who Nathan Knight is, but he had 2 games where he really had a lot to do with the Atlanta Hawks wins. He had 15 points and 16 points. So all around, Nick McMillan is instilling confidence, not only in the top guys, but also the lower level guys like Nathan Knight, who a week, 2 weeks ago, nobody really knew anything about.
Yeah.
So do you trust them in the playoffs?
I don't trust Atlanta in the playoffs.
Too young.
But also, these are the teams that Atlanta has beat. They have beaten the Heat. They beat the Magic. They beat the Raptors.
Almost beat the Clippers.
Yeah,
they beat the Kings. They beat the Cavs. They beat the Rockets. They beat the Thunder. They beat the Lakers.
And it's interesting that you bring those teams up because when people are going to come back, they're going to say, "Oh, those teams are bad." But a lot of those teams they weren't beat; they were losing to.
Yeah.
Early in the season, like losing games that they should have won. The team has been injured all year, so you can't even say this guy didn't play. They've been injured all year, so I think that's good that they're beating teams that they should be beating, and that's kind of I think a Nate McMillan thing. And people forget he's a guy who he's
battle.
He's gonna get your team to the playoffs. He may not be
not gonna win.
Yeah, he's probably not gonna win, but he's like
he'll get you there.
He'll get you there. So it's like he's a coach that knows how to get to the playoffs. He knows that mentality. He knows what to do to get in a war.
Yeah.
He just never wins the war. So
yeah,
that's good for him.
And isn't that what Atlanta has needed this entire time? Because I think when you have a young team,
you just need playoff experience.
Not only that, but I think you need a coach
that can guide that young talent.
Yes, like Lloyd Pierce, they took a risk on Lloyd Pierce.
Yeah.
I think they wanted him to grow with them.
Yeah, they took a risk on a young coach who was unproven to coach young guys. But usually that's not how it works out. I'll give you 2 examples. Mark Jackson with Golden State with that young Warriors team. He developed them.
Yeah.
Right now, you look at the Knicks. Last year with David Fisdale, a guy who could grow with the team.
I'll give you another one, Luke Walton.
Yeah, he's doing bad with Sacramento. But now the Knicks brought in Tom Thibodeau, a proven coach.
Yeah.
Now the Knicks are about to make the playoffs. And the Hawks, the same thing. If they would have they would have hired a coach who was proven from the very start, they probably would have been way farther in the development process than they are right now.
Yeah,
because I think Nate McMillan is that coach who's going to develop them. And then you then have to hire another coach who can take them over the top eventually. Or maybe McMillan can change around.
I think people I think the only time that really worked was Boston. Brad Stevens was young. He just got out of Butler, and I think they took a chance on Brad Stevens. But other than that, I think you should definitely you got a young talent. You should hire that proven coach to kind of come in and set them straight. Because I think like we've seen with Luke Walton and Mark Jackson, these aren't guys that kind of know how to win. Like they're kind of just winging it at this point. So, with Tom Thibodeau, even when he came to Chicago, he was a winner. He won a ring with the Boston Celtics. He was an assistant coach. He was under Doc Rivers. So when he came in with D Rose and them, we kind of already knew, like, we had Vinny Del Negro. He developed he developed D Rose in them, and then Tom Thibodeau came in and kind of took the charge. So you definitely need that proven coach to kind of come in and settle.
I was fine with Luke Walton, but I think Mark Jackson is the winner.
I think Mark Jackson is a winner as well.
Yeah, you said Mark Jackson. I think he is a.
What did I say?
You said Mark Jackson and Luke Walton are winging it.
Oh, I apologize.
Yeah, I think Mark Jackson, he knows what he's doing.
But I think at first,
I think he could have taken them to the next level.
No, I think when I say
Warriors.
winging it, I meant like at first when they first got to the playoffs, he was kind of like just kind of seeing what the team was about. Like he didn't he wasn't the one who knew Draymond Green was Draymond Green. That was kind of Steve Kerr. He was kind of letting him play behind David Lee, and Klay Thompson was coming off the bench, and then he started to start. So I think he was kind of like still processing. But yeah, Luke Walton, my fault. Luke Walton, though, he was definitely winging it.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't know he was definitely winging it.
100%.
I mean, but yeah, Atlanta has a bunch of young talent. I mean, when they get fully healthy, I think this can be a really, one of the better young teams in the NBA. I was about to say something more crazy.
I was looking at you, too.
What you going to say?
What do you think their ceiling is? Like, how far do you think this team can go?
It depends on who develops, because if Trae Young becomes that, like...
Not this year.
You don't want to hear my take on Atlanta.
If Trae Young...
Yes, I do.
If Trae Young becomes that top 15 player, if DeAndre Hunter can become a really good 3-and-D player, who I think he could become, Cam Reddish can start being consistent.
Yeah,
because he's not consistent
at all.
John Collins becomes a better defender. I think Clint Capella is perfect for that. I love Clint Capella. He's perfect, and Bogdanovich, he's been hurt. He just has been. Back
I think Danilo's probably more aligned their future.
And Gallinari too.
He's been looking trash this year. I can't lie.
Injuries.
Yeah, I think part of that was Lloyd Pierce, how he played him too. I think Nick McMillan has been putting him in better spots to succeed.
Well, I agree. I think if Trae Young can turn into that guy and Cam Reddish turn into that guy, I think he's gonna turn into DeAndre Hunter. He looks like he was definitely on that MIP list for me. Yeah, he's playing really good. But in all, I think they need Trae Young, Cam Reddish, John Collins, and DeAndre. I think they need those 4 guys. But I don't think John Collins is coming back.
You don't think so?
I think if he wasn't coming back, they would have traded him.
But then again, they said his contract wasn't big enough to get a big guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he's only getting paid like $5 million.
No, yeah. Okay.
So he was only gonna get a young guy and like some picks. Yeah.
Yeah, but you'd rather that than just like let him walk.
I mean, we'll see what they do.
He's
think,
a crucial
but
piece.
like if he's there, I think those 4 guys plus Clint, because Clinton's only like 26.
Yeah, he's young.
I think they need those 4 guys to really develop.
I think Cam Reddish is the key.
He's gonna be a superstar.
I think if he can develop, because we all get that vibe from him. He's
a hater. He hates Cam, but we all get
I
that.
don't hate Cam. You just said he was better than RJ.
RJ who Barrett?
Yeah,
nah.
RJ sucks. No, but he doesn't suck. But I'm saying we all get that vibe though.
Yeah,
that
I think
Cam
RJ's
got
overrated.
It,
I think RJ's overrated.
Well, you mean to tell me
you think RJ's overrated?
To a degree, but I think let me not say overrated. He's not playing at the level that he's not the star I thought he was going to be.
He was the best player in the world in high school.
Yeah, and then even college, I thought he had more potential than Zion. Like when they were both at Duke, I was like, nah, I like RJ over Zion. But now, I mean, he's doing well with the Knicks. Just like I said, I thought he was going to be a little bit higher.
You really don't like when you see Cam. You really don't feel that superstar vibe.
Now
Cam has all the tools.
Yeah, like you could.
Is it because he's underachieving?
There are a lot of teams.
He's
there are a lot of players.
OD, bro.
There are a lot of players who look the part, but they just don't have that. I just don't think Cam has that mentality.
Okay,
I feel you.
I don't think he has.
No, he doesn't.
Well, we can all agree he has. Like he has.
You know who he reminds me of?
Who?
Wiggins.
Oh my
like,
god, that's
no,
so
not in terms of playing style. Like they. Like very lethargic, like they don't look excited when they play. Like they don't want to be like great, you know.
I get it.
Like Andrew Wiggins gives me that same vibe, where they just there. Like I'm just playing.
I'm just nice, so I'm here.
I'm just nice, so I'm here. You know what I mean?
Cam Reddish's game is smooth.
It is smooth.
But RJ Barrett, he's
a dog.
He is a dog. His game is really stiff.
Yeah,
like
his work ethic.
If you were to watch him for the first time, you would say, "Oh, this guy looks like
he sucks." No, if you watch him first time, you think he sucks.
But the reason that he's so good now is because he's trying. He actually puts in the work. I don't think Cam Reddish is really putting in that work, and I think
I can agree with that.
Definitely agree. Offensively, I think Cam be bugging. But
it's like, bro, when you know you're nice, so you don't give maximum effort. You
just be like, I'm gonna be here.
Like you don't want to be better. So I like that because I agree. Like I always look at Cam Reddish and I'm like, okay, I envision him being a top level talent, but I'm like just watching him play, like he doesn't seem excited. Like he doesn't want to be there. Like he doesn't want to be great.
It doesn't happen. It takes wings sometimes. So
yeah,
he'll be all right, man. Just don't trade him. Just believe him.
It might take a trade.
Nah, if he gets traded, I'm out.
It might take like a Markelle Fultz situation and dump him off. And, he might turn into something.
I think he's that type of guy that he gets traded, he'll just feel sad as hell.
Like it'll ruin his career even more. It depends where he gets traded to.
I mean, I follow him on Instagram. He has a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves
looks
his
like
dog.
a dog guy.
Yeah, he has a dog.
Yeah.
He has a wife and
stuff. But I will give him the benefit of the doubt, like, because they said Lloyd Pierce and him were kind of, battling heads.
He wasn't banging with.
So I'm gonna give him benefit of the doubt. Maybe
he's also very injury prone. That blows my mind too. He's always hurt.
He gotta get his weight up. Yeah, your boy Boney over there.
I mean, he thought he was gonna be rookie of the year.
Thought he's a young KD.
That was a bias. But I tell you before I said that was a biased pick. He's like Paul George, bro. Watch. All right, give it time. Give it time.
I could see it. Nah, he don't defend though.
He locks. You just stop.
Cam Reddish?
He play good D. He's like I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of a play style. He really he guards the guards. Hunter guards the wings. Trae Young just be out there running.
Yeah.
On defense. He just be out there.
Oh yeah,
running.
he's just there.
Yeah,
he's just there to get buckets.
I think that's why they picked. Those are the two guys that they kind of like that.
What's his ceiling?
Paul George. That's what you think.
I think higher. Honestly. I think I say that. I'm gonna tell you why I say that. I think higher because Paul George, when he came out of college, he wasn't as skilled as what Cam was. Like we're just talking strictly skill,
raw skill.
He wasn't as skilled as what Cam. Paul had to work for that.
Yeah.
So I think his ceiling is possibly higher, but his floor is so low.
Yeah,
like he's out of the league floor.
Yeah,
that's
like he needs to get it together now because. Bus talks is in the air. Like, is he a bus? Once you get there, it's like, damn, you kind of falling down.
That'd be my second guy out of here. I had Trey Duvall and then him.
Yo, Trey Duvall.
Yeah,
that's a sad story, man. That's a sad story.